Now to Tanzania, where President Samia Sulu-hu Hassan has defended her country's security forces who are accused of killing unarmed protesters during recent electoral unrest. The president said the crackdown had been necessary to prevent the government being overthrown. Without providing evidence, she also said young people had been paid to take part in protests. Opposition and rights groups claim more than 1,000 people were shot dead during protests over October's disputed election, which they say was rigged. Let's get more on this from Tanzanian political analyst Faraja Kristomus. Welcome to DW, Faraja. The president spoke on Tuesday about deaths and arrests that happened in November following elections the previous month. Let's start with what she was saying yesterday about these deaths and arrests.
Yes, yesterday she addressed the nation. And in fact, it was a collection of the elders in Dar es Salaam city. He wanted through them to address the nation about the situation that faced the country in October, by the end of October, in the beginning of November. So she talked a lot, but one of the things she insisted that the forces that were used were necessary to crack down the protesters. So there's no way other than using forces against those people or against the protesters who were threatening to overthrow the government or to have a coup d'etat. So that was her insistence. And the expressions show that she never regretted what happened during those days.
And were those claims of a potential coup, were those credible?
In fact, with our Tanzanian situation and with our military, the way the military functions is something that someone can hesitate to accept it could be true, because our base or our way of doing politics cannot allow the situation to happen. Maybe there could be a fracas, but the demonstrators, in fact, or the protesters, they only wanted to have a fair and free election, but also they wanted to have a responsible, independent electoral commission that will do justice to all the parties and to make sure that the election landscape in Tanzania is always free and fair. And that was their major concern. But the other thing was about the abductions, forced disappearances, and also the extrajudicial killings that were perpetrated by the armed forces. And those were the main concerns of the protesters.
Right.
And there was nothing that you could clearly relate with the overthrowing of the government.
So given the grievances that people clearly feel very deeply there, how are they reacting to yesterday's statement from President Hassan?
In fact, we Tanzanians, in the beginning, following her speech when she was opening the parliament, we had a glimpse of hope. Maybe we shall have a healing, or there will be a reconciliation. But if you read the faces and the eyes of the Tanzanians after the speech, after the yesterday's speech, you could clearly see that the hope is faded. The people have given up. They have lost hope for the reconciliation and for the rebuilding of the nation following her speech. And most probably the divisions might expand and the hostilities might also grow within the country and between the ruling party and the citizens, because the number of the people who feel like they have lost hope has increased, as you could watch and see the reactions of the majority of citizens after her speech.
Right, but this, as I understand it, fresh protests have been called for next week. What's likely to happen?
There is, we can say, halfway. Maybe with the crackdown that is going on, with the security control, because now the security is tightened almost all over the city, and even other cities like Arusha, Mwanza, and Mbeya, the security is tightened. Maybe there is a serious security patrol, but now we can say the streets are calm, but people are fearful. There
Right.
is a fearful environment, and people are leaving the city, going up country for security, to have a safe environment for them to protect, to be safe against the protection. So maybe the situation, we can say, is half-half. We are not very much sure whether that one will happen or not, but we are still waiting. We are vigilant to see whether the efforts to calm down the looming protest is there or not.
Thanks for talking us through that, Faraja. Faraja Kristomus, a Tanzanian political analyst.
Thank you.